Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
So, first of all, thank you for accepting our request. I know it wasn't an easy decision.
Don't be. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Glad to hear that. Then before we start this interview, please introduce yourself briefly to the viewers who don't know you yet.
Hello everyone. My name is Jocasta. I was both a mother and wife of Oedipus.
Oh yes, and there's one more thing about you.
Yes, I've taken my own life, hanging myself. I no longer exist in this world. Simply, I'm a ghost.
Yes. For that reason, it made this interview very exciting since we are the first in the history who have the interview with the real ghost. Yeah. Today's interview is about your choice. I honestly believe that you could make a better decision.
Okay.
Okay, Jocasta. First of all, I think you have many chances to avoid the prophecy ever since you know the prophecy. First, when you had a son, and then you learned about the prophecy, you were scared of it and chose to kill your son. But I think you have a better option. For example, if you had raised him, guided and educated him well, he might not have done what he predicted.
That's right. It may have been a cruel decision to kill a 3-day-old child as soon as I knew the prophecy about the child. The reason behind my action was not because I feared the prophecy, but because I was the queen of Thebes. I had a country to protect. If the prophecy would be fulfilled, Thebes would lose their leader and fall into chaos. That's why I had to make a choice.
Between a mother and a queen?
Yes, and I chose to be a queen because before becoming a mother, I was a queen. That is my lifelong duty.
But that choice didn't help either.
Unfortunately, Laios was terrified by the prophecy and cheated on me, which enraged goddess Hera. Eventually, the goddess sent me Sphinx, and Oedipus, who killed the Sphinx, remarried me, which is a very ironic trick of fate.
It's like a planned misfortune. But nevertheless, I think you had a chance to avoid prophecy even after you abandoned your child. After Oedipus Rex starts, Laios was already murdered and you married with Oedipus. If you had anticipated the possibility that the prophecy had begun from the time of Laios' death, and if you hadn't remarried Oedipus, wouldn't that lead you to the better future?
I'm the queen of Thebes, but a queen is just a queen. Despite having the crown, I'm just half of the whole. I needed a man, a king. I was destined to remarry a man to replace the previous king for the sake of my country's peace and stability.
Oh, did someone force you to remarry? I mean, you weren't able to refuse because you're the queen.
I think that question can be answered by the fact that I, the legitimate queen, married a foreign man.
Oh, I see. So no one thought it was appropriate that a foreigner would be king of the country and have the same power as a queen. I got it. But remarriage still doesn't mean the same thing as the prediction says. Wouldn't the thing would go different if you at least refuse to have children with him? Even though you're the queen, you're the second greatest person and you hold similar power to that of a king. So if you don't want to have children, Oedipus could respect your choice.
Of course, I tried it too. On our first night, I told Oedipus I didn't want to bear his children, but he had a different idea because he was a foreigner.
What's wrong with him being a foreigner?
Oedipus, a hero who killed Sphinx and saved the country, was greatly welcomed by the people, but the nobles still didn't like the fact that young foreigners will sit as their king. Because his position was not firm and of great assurance, he needed a child to prove that he is the rightful king. Children who shed blood were the legitimate queen. I couldn't refuse him, and that's how we had 4 children.
Aha, get it. I want to ask you one more question. You were relieved when you heard Oedipus' stepfather had died, as it was revealed that Oedipus had not stained his hand with Laios' blood, though contracting the prophecy. but he had already fulfilled the prophecy by killing someone and remarried with you. So, and yet you said the king's death was a good news. So why did you say it so thoughtlessly?
Yeah, I remember. I hardly think clearly at that moment. Honestly, it was impossible to think of an ideal. When I said, did I not predict it thus earlier, to Oedipus, meaning there was nothing to worry about the prophecy, I honestly don't know if I was trying to reassure Oedipus or to reassure myself at the time. Hey, do you know we have a similar personality?
Could you give me more details?
We both avoided the truth at the time. I didn't want to know it at all, so I chose to hide from the truth, while Oedipus tried to deny what the prophecy started.
Do you mean you purposely ignored the problem?
Yes, we both did. Although the methods were different, it is obvious that we both were running away from the problem rather than facing it.
Is that why you hung yourself?
Yes, it was foolish.
What do you mean foolish? What happened to you was the most terrible thing. It was not your fault.
Thank you for saying that, but there's something overlooked.
What do you mean?
Meaning that the prophecy never predicts my death. This prophecy was just like a curse, to say the least, for three of us. Oedipus was the subject of the curse, so his misfortune was predetermined. And Laius, my ex-husband, also had an inevitable death. But I wasn't. I suffered because I was mentioned in the prophecy, but ironically because I was an object to complete the prophecy, I was able to get free after everything is over.
Are you saying that you could do much more things after the tragedy happened because the prophecy didn't mention your death, but then you choose to suicide? Do you regret your choice?
The first thing I saw after I became a ghost was Oedipus holding my body and crying. The hole where his eyes were supposed to be was empty and blood flowed instead, but I really couldn't hold myself any longer when I hung myself. I just wanted to die and end it all through. Didn't know I'd become a ghost.
Jocasta, you can't help it. You tried to avoid your fate, the destiny that wasn't even yours.
Yes, I was the inevitable victim of Oedipus' fate. As if someone wanted us to die. Tragically, Oedipus and I wandered for years to escape from our fate, but it all turned out as predicted.
Lastly, before the interview comes to an end, I want to ask you one last thing. Jocasta, why did you accept my interview? I just wanted to interview with you because you're a ghost. There is no reason for you to comply with my request.
That's because I'm a ghost. Oedipus was not only the one who suffered from this unfortunate fate, and I, Jocasta, who stood next to him, shared the same fate.